Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the laws of KASHRUS of Rabbi Yamin Forst, and he writes like this today as we're speaking about the mitzvah of Tevilas Kelim, immersing one's vessels in the mikvah when they are new, or even if they are old and they are used, that were owned by a non-Jew beforehand or purchased from a non-Jew, which really, just to make things clear, basically any utensil that you buy from the store today, unless you know for sure that it was owned and made by a Jew, is going to require Tevilas Kelim, to go to the mikveh. And he writes like this: Hagam sheish min hapaiskin hasayvim she'ikar mitzvah Tevilas Kelim ein ela midrabanan. There are halachic authorities that render the mitzvah of immersing your vessels in the mikveh as only a midrabanan rabbinical prohibition. Ve'adrasha shedarshu aleha ein ela asmachta. And this, that we make a drasha, like we said yesterday from the verses, it's only an asmachta. An asmachta means over here that we're just using that verse in a rabbinical way to teach us something. Mikol Makor, nevertheless, das reiva paiskim, the majority of most of the halachic authorities, including Rashi and the Rambam and others, they hold that shetevilas kelim min haTorah, that really there is a Torah obligation to toivel, to bring your kelim to the mikveh and immerse them in there. And that's the way that we go. That's the prevailing opinion, that this is a mitzvah de'oraisa, a positive commandment from the Torah, to make sure that a person immerses, to take the kelim, the vessels from the tumah of the non-Jew, and bring it into the kedusha of Klal Yisrael. And therefore, it is prohibited. You're not allowed to use a vessel before it was brought to the mikveh. Afilu derech arai, even if you're just using it like temporarily. And this is a big misnomer. I've heard this many, many times over the years. People buy new pots and pans, or they buy new kelim, new vessels and utensils and the like, and they're too lazy to go to the mikveh. They didn't make it there on time, and now they're having some kind of a meal at their house, and they wanted to use these salad tongs to be able to serve the salad at the party. So they say, well, I didn't have a chance yet to go toivel it. I'm only using it once now, and therefore it's okay. He says, of course, no, it's not okay. Everything that requires tevilah needs to be toiveled, needs to be brought to the mikveh before you use it, even for the first time. Ulam isur zeh eino ela midarabanan. But this prohibition, even if you hold that the toiveling of dishes and the like is an obligation on a deraisa, on a Torah level, this that you transgressed is only midrabanan, rabbinical. And therefore the food, if let's say food was cooked in a pot or a pan that was not yet toiveled, and you only plan on really using it for this one time or so, it does not aser, it doesn't make the food aser for you to eat. You'd still be allowed to eat the food. And that's why if you bought new vessels and they're still in the box and they're in the house, you're actually allowed to leave them there even without being toivel them. We're not really concerned that you're going to open up the box and start using them, and therefore it's the obligation to toivel them is an obligation that is there. But you don't have to go out of your way right now and bring them to the mikveh and toivel them. You can leave them in the box in the house. However, it's all on condition that you are planning to go and toivel them at the right time. What if you have a very large pot or a pan and it's impossible to put into the mikveh? Or it's very heavy, you can't even pick it up. Nevertheless, says our force, don't think that there's a heter, that there's a leniency not to be toivel them. You still have to. Let's say you didn't realize this, and you use this gigantic industrial sized pot 100 times already, bli tevilah, and you never would toivel it. You're still obligated to toivel it. And now that you understand what the halacha is, you're not going to be allowed to use it. He says, take a look later on. We'll see many paragraphs in the future. What's going to be with your electric utensils and the like? For example, the hot water heater an electric knife, a blender, and so on and so forth. How are you total those? We'll see what he has to say. We have a whole mahalach, a whole way to deal with that as well. Have a wonderful day.